Hello, my name is Loli Jane. I am an animal communicator. So today we are going to talk about the sad but realistic pet loss and end of life decisions. So I went through this myself. I completely understand every single solitary emotion that people go through when they have to possibly put their pet down. But today I'm going to talk to you about the very important use of an animal communicator to make this decision. You don't have to do this alone, and you don't have to make this decision by yourself. And it wasn't until I became an animal communicator that I got rid of the horrible, horrible, horrible guilt over having to put my dog down, and also the trauma and loss that I really never got over in 13 years. I have another episode, if you'd like to watch, about pet reincarnation, and that's the happier conversation. But now let's have a realistic conversation about help with choices that you need to make. So if you are faced with an emergency decision, first off, if you are at a veterinarian office and they give you an ultimatum, they give you a choice of, they think it's time that you have to put your dog down or your cat down or your animal down or your horse down, or any other animal that you may have, and you only are given a 24-hour period, I want you to know that there is no emergency. That regardless of what your pet may or may not look like, they may have broken bones, they may look like or have just literally been run over, they may have lameness, and you are told you have to put this animal down now. I am here to tell you that you do not have to rush this decision. So your animal, regardless of what they look like, they may or may not be ready. So animal communication can help dramatically by directly asking the animal, are you ready to leave your body? Are you ready to go? And many animals, many animals, regardless of how decrepit they look and how they look like they're ready to go, they will tell me, I am not ready to leave my body. Absolutely not. Don't let it happen. Go tell my person. And so I convey that to the person. They are not ready to leave. They said they are not done with their lessons with you. And there's more to be learned. There's more life to be lived with them. And they will recover. It's not always the case. Sometimes they are ready to leave, and they'll tell me, yes, it's time, I'm ready to leave, and if I don't leave my body in this way, there'll be another way, because it's time for my exit point. So I'll get one of two things that the animals tell me, and we'll go down the communication path from there. So I'm directly talking to animals. If you've watched my other videos, we talk about telepathy. So this is not magic, this is not psychic, this is direct communication via using telepathy. And telepathy is something that we all have. It's an innate ability that all human beings have. This is how the animal kingdom talks to each other, and it's using thoughts, words, not necessarily words, thoughts, images, feelings, and even getting pain and emotions. And then also hearing through the senses. Could be hearing sounds, smells, everything. So that is telepathy. So that's how I'm communicating with the animal. So if you call me to do a session with your animal, if you're told the animal's ready to go, or if you're having that feeling like it's time that you need to put your animal down, so we can do a session. I can ask your animal, are you ready to go? So let's do two paths. Let's do, I am ready to go. So if they are ready to go, then I can ask, how would you like to go? Would you like to be put down, or would you like to die on your own of natural causes? And who would you like present if you're to be put down? Who would you like to be present? How would you like the procedure done? You can ask them if they're interested in twilight sleep, and you can explain to them what the twilight sleep is, where they're not going to feel anything, no injections, they'll just get really sleepy. And you can ask them what they would like done with their remains. How would they like to be memorialized? Would they like to be cremated, or would they like to be buried in the ground? And if they want to be cremated, would they like their ashes memorialized in an urn, or spread somewhere in some wonderful location that reminds them of something you did together, or both? Sometimes I have animals that will tell me that I'd like to have part of me be in an urn with my person memorialized on an altar of some sort with pictures of us, and I want part of my ashes to be spread on this hilltop which we used to run together, and both of us were happy together. If the animal wants to be buried where, sometimes it's in a garden in your house, sometimes it's in another location that you spent time together. And sorry, there's a little ant crawling on me in my video here. So I could also ask the question, are you coming back to your person? So on the topic of pet reincarnation and past lives, I have another video to watch, so please watch my other video on pet reincarnation. So it is a real thing. Many, 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 many times they reincarnate with you, over and over and over again, in this lifetime and many other lifetimes. So my soul animal who was Frosty, a mini American Eskimo, was also a poodle that I got at age 0 to 15, was also a white cat that was born the day I had to put my dog down, and also a horse. So in this lifetime, and in other lifetimes, was with me many, many, many times. And that is called a soul animal, and that will be a topic for another video. So those are your soul animals. That's like your soul family that incarnates with you over and over again, so they can share the burdens and bring the lessons and help you move forward in your life. So we'll talk about that in another video. So look for my other videos. And so if they have told me that they want to come back to you, I can ask them what animal they've chosen or other being. I can ask them what will be the signs for you. Sometimes they'll tell me. It's a conversation that my person and I need to have. My person needs to be ready again too, not just me. So it's a planning with the person. And sometimes the person's not ready yet. And so they'll say, I'm not coming back, or I am coming back. And if it is time, what will be the signs? How will you find this animal? How will they know what kind of animal to get? And so on and so forth. And so then we can go down the road of that conversation. So the next divergent path here is if your animal is not ready to leave their body. So if they're not ready to leave their body, then we can ask them what lessons they still have left with you, and what lessons they still want to share with you, and why they're not ready to leave. And they'll say, well, even though I broke my leg and I broke my arm and this happened, I'm going to heal and it's going to be okay, and I still have a lot more life and lessons with my person. that, again, remember, they incarnate with you to share your life with you, and to share the lessons with you, and to help you move forward. So if the animal chooses to stay, I want to respectfully say that please honor the animal. I mean, I understand the vet, and you may feel that it's time for the animal to go, but please honor the animal's choices, because they know best about their incarnation. They don't forget like we do. They don't have amnesia. They know. If I ask an animal, point blank, what's your sole purpose in this incarnation as, you know, so-and-so dog or so-and-so cat? And they'll like give it to me straight, right then and there. They don't even think. If I ask a person that, they don't really know all the time. So animals don't forget what their sole purpose is, especially with you, because a lot of it is tied in with you. So if they're not ready to leave, please, all I ask is that you honor that. The next question I would ask is, if you could get help and want to stay, if you could get help and heal and would you want to stay? And they'll tell me yes. And I'll ask, what is the type of help that you need? And they're not necessarily going to say, you know, I need this laser treatment, such and such, or I need my arm casted, or, you know, a diagnosis of a disease. They're going to tell me more nature stuff. There's something going on in this area that I'm getting dehydrated. You know, if they have kidney problems, there's something going on in this area. They can send me a picture of like the kidney area and say, you know, I'm getting dehydrated every day, or something general like that. They could send me their pain and tell me, you know, this is an area that needs to be helped. They also tell me, you know, rub the oils on me, or they'll say massage me in a certain area or something. You know, a lot of times they're asking for holistic things. So they're not going to necessarily name brands or commercial products, but they will ask for holistic things. So like, you know, animals know when they're sick in their stomach area and their gut to eat green things, right? We have learned that in science, and it's called detox. So green foods have a detoxifying effect. Well, animals know this automatically. So sometimes they'll say, you know, I need kitty grass, or I need green foods to eat, you know, every day, or I need, you know, I'm too acid, or something like that. I'm sorry, I have ants crawling all over me against my oak tree. But it's okay, because they're in this video with us. They're participating. So animals can name things that can help them heal. And the other part is I can help, and this will be another video too, on pain and physical health. So I can help your vet, your veterinarian, or your holistic veterinarian or practitioner, even a pet chiropractor, pet acupuncturist. I can help with providing details of where the pain is, how long they've had the pain, where the physical location is of the pain, what the sensation is of the pain, whether it's acute or chronic. I can get a pain level from 1 to 10, and a lot of other detailed information of where the issue is, how long they've had it, and what it feels like. And because I am empathic and can actually get the feeling of pain, I can describe it in great detail. And then as soon as I describe it in great detail, I send it out of my body. It doesn't belong in there. I had a case one time with a case with a horse that it was an animal communication session, not an energy healing session. I do energy healing as well. And the horse was lame, got injured with one leg, was completely and utterly lame, and I said, you know, what do you want? How would you like to heal? What does your body need? And asked for some help and some healing help. And so I told the person, and they didn't want to do the healing right away. They were going to do it in some, you know, matter of days or weeks. And the next day, I got sort of a knock on the door from the horse. I was walking. I called the person and I said, I think your horse needs an energy healing for real. And as I'm on the phone with her, walking down the street, the horse sent me its pain and dropped me to the ground. I literally was laying on the ground in agony, feeling what the lameness felt like and feeling which leg, which area of the body it was. And I was like literally telling the person, please, your animal needs an energy healing. So as soon as she agreed, she said, okay, I'll do it. As soon as she said, okay, I'll do it, the pain came right out of me without me having to say, you know, not mine, not mine, not mine. Came right out of me. It was like such a learning lesson for me. So amazing. So they can give valuable information to share with your holistic veterinarian or your regular veterinarian that is open to animal communication, or your animal acupuncturist or animal chiropractor or health practitioner. Even if you have somebody doing Reiki, I do pranic healing on animals. So I do what's called external medical Qigong. I do it remotely or in person on animals. But whoever your practitioner is, if you have this valuable information as to what the location and the sensation and the pain level and acute or chronic and what it feels like and what's going on, then that's valuable information that they can make a much more definitive diagnosis. So please, please be open to sharing this with your vets. Some are open to it as well. Okay, so if your animal chooses to stay, of course I ask the same question. So what do you need to get to for your body to feel better? And they can tell me. And then I ask them, would you like to go back to the vet? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the vet? How does it feel to you? And sometimes the animals are afraid of the vet because the person is afraid of the response from the animal. And it's this like loop that doesn't end. It's like the person sends out anxiety and fear because they know their animal's going to react. Then the animal reacts from the person's anxiety and fear because a lot of times they mirror the person's emotions. And then the person reacts, and then the animal reacts, and it's this like never-ending cycle. So I say calm, calm, calm. If they say point blank they don't want to go to the vet, they would rather get like some type of other treatment, then I ask them specifically what they would like. They're always open to energy healing. Animals love the feeling of getting energy healing because it's non-invasive and it just feels very relaxing to them. We can also take care of anxiety, emotional things, you know, fear, anxiety, trauma, depression, all that. So the point of this video is I want to have you really, really, really think about that moment in time where you think it is time to put my animal down. And that's the moment in time that it would be wonderful for both of you to reach out to myself as an animal communicator or another animal communicator and get direct answers from your beloved animal before you make the decision. So let me just tell you a little bit about my story. I was not an animal communicator back when I had my soul dog, and it was the most traumatizing, treacherous, horrible time for me ever. And I literally cried over my animal for 13 years. 13 years. For 13 years, I would still cry. My mom passed away, and a lot of animal, and I don't want to say owners, animal parents, pet parents, will say the same thing. They've had a human pass away, and the trauma of losing their animal was worse. And I will say, my mom passed away, and the animal of losing my soul dog, Frosty, was far worse because it was such unconditional love from this animal. over and over, many lifetimes over. That's why when you meet your new animal, you will know it. And that will be a conversation for another video on finding our forever homes and our soul animals. So I will wish you the most wonderful, gifted conversations with your animals, so you will not ever have to go through the trauma that I went through. And it wasn't until I became an animal communicator that I got relief, and I stopped crying over my dog Frosty, because what I learned was about soul animals. I learned about death is not death. It is not the end. When we talk about death, it is absolutely, positively, with 100% certainty, speaking from my soul, not the end. It is merely a transition. When your animals pass, they are transitioning from one state of being to another. They are not gone. Okay? And I can tell you this with 100% certainty because I can easily talk to animals that have passed on already, whether they passed on 10 years ago or 10 minutes ago. I can talk to animals, and they're in different stages depending on how long they've been transitioned. They are in another dimension, and another dimension which is closer than you think. And when your animals come to visit you and walk on your bed at night, and you can feel the weight of their footprints, or you can hear them sometimes, or you just know they're there, they are there visiting you. So it is just a transition. It is not the end of existence. Okay? So I wish you a beautiful, wonderful day. And please listen to this over and over again if you have to, and take it to heart. And please contact me if you have an animal that you think is ready to go, if you have an end-of-life decision to make, or if you have an emergency and you're at a vet's office and you have an emergency decision to make, because I usually like to give you a 24-hour period to make a decision. So please contact me. My website is animals-speak.com. Animals with an S on the end, dash, which is a hyphen, not an underscore, speak.com. Animals-speak.com. And I wish you a wonderful, blessed day with your beloved soul animal. Okay.